Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here to the Owensboro Board of Commissioners regular meeting, December the 5th, 2023. At this time, I'll ask the City Clerk, Beth Davis, to please call the roll.
Commissioner Pam Smithroyd.
Here.
Commissioner Sharon Neesmith. Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mark Caslen.
Here.
Commissioner Bob Glenn.
Here. Thank you. At this time, if you're able to stand for the invocation and the pledge by Commissioner Glenn.
Please bow or pray in meditation as is your custom. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings and rewards that you have provided this great community of Owensboro, Kentucky, particularly during this time of Advent where we celebrate the greatest gift you've ever provided, and that is the Christ child. Lord, we want to recognize that in this community, let us hope that we can move forward as a community and be 100,000 points of light. Let us express the same care and compassion that you extended to the world in giving of your only Son. Lord, we also want to lift up our city, our great employees who do incredible work under difficult conditions. Bless them and protect them. We want to thank all of the people in our community who make this a caring and loving community. And most of all, we want to recognize that you are the reason for the season. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Glenn. First item on the agenda is item 4A. At this time, I would like to call on City Manager Nate Pagan, please.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I have them handy, thank you. State law in Chapter 91A requires the city to be audited each year. The audit is done to provide both you as the Board of Commissioners and the public accountability and transparency and assurance that the city's financial affairs are handled appropriately. The city's audit firm is Alexander Thompson Arnold PLLC, and Malcolm McNeil III is a managing partner at the firm and serves as our lead auditor. Mac is here and will provide a report for us for the city's 22-23 fiscal year.
Thank you, Nate. There's a lot of information. As you can see, your audit report's 170 plus pages, and I could keep us here for a week, so I'm going to hit the high points. There's nothing worse than an accountant that talks too long, so I'm just going to hit the high points this evening. We go through and do a risk assessment process, and we go through all your processes and financial reporting processes and processes down, anything that deals with your financial aspects. And we assess risk, and then we have to look at just not the books, extemporaneous factors that could impact the financial statements, such as regulatory environment, what's coming down out of Washington, D.C., unfunded mandates, the economic climate regionally and locally, how it could impact the city of Owensboro, concentration of taxpayers, and then other unique factors. I think the two big kahunas in the room are the net pension liability and OPEB, which we've been talking about as long as I've been doing the audit here the last 11 years. We go through and we do a risk assessment. We look at the control environment, the control activities, and what this chart shows is the importance of monitoring how well management and the commission as a whole monitors the financial aspects of the city. And I will say the monitoring operation, but as far as what the commission does and management is very strong within the city of Owensboro. The annual comprehensive financial report is very thick. There's a transmission letter and the management's discussion and analysis, which explains the results of the financial statements. There's the financial section and the statistical section, which has a lot of information that particularly Moody's and people like that like to look at when they underwrite your bonds. The auditor's opinion is what's called a clean opinion. There are no exceptions. Everything was in good order. And one thing that's very impressive, this is the 42nd year in a row The Government Finance Officers Association has given you all the Certificate of Excellence for financial reporting, so that speaks highly of your finance department. And the Distinguished Budget, this is the 23rd consecutive year that Angela and her staff have received that from the Government Finance Officers Association. And then the Outstanding Popular Financial Report, which was implemented, I believe, 5 years ago. So you're 5 for 5 as far as getting an award for that. So that's a compliment to your finance staff. Pages 25 and 26 are what I'm going to kind of concentrate on. Your net position increased $10.4 million this year. Your net position was $113.2 million last year and increased to $123.6, and your total assets and deferred outflows of the city of Owensboro are $425.1 million. Your total liabilities and deferred inflows are $301.5 million, and basically what that says in a nutshell is you're in a very strong financial position for the year ended June 30th, 2023. Some highlights of the financial statement: the unfunded pension liability, which I think everybody's aware of in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It was $83 million last year. It increased by $8 million to $91 million this year. That's not anything you're going to have to pay off in 1 year. Those are actuarially determined numbers, but they will have to be paid off probably over the next 30 years. And then the other post-employment benefits liability, it remained relatively stable, but that's health insurance, the liability for that for retirees of the city. The governmental funds of the city, you're very healthy. You have $110.8 million in the fund balance. 35.1 million of that, or 32%, is unassigned and available for spending at the discretion of the commission. The rest is obligated. And the unassigned fund balance in the general fund represents 199 days of expenditure. That's roughly a little more than 6 months worth of expenditures that you have in reserves, and that's a sign of a very healthy city. This is the fund balance increased this year by $6.2 million, and this is the 6th consecutive year of increases. I believe 7 years ago there was a deficit. That was the last time that occurred. And the city's long-term debt, which is primarily long-term bonds, increased from $25.1 million due to the bond issue that occurred during 22-23 fiscal year. The key factor in Moody's, your most recent rating is A1, but the fund balance plays a key. That's probably the heaviest thing they look at when an underwriting agency rates you for bonds, which impacts your interest rates. So you can see having a strong cash balance and fund balance is a very positive factor in your favor. You can see the change in the general fund balance for the last few years. It's been positive. The last year there, 2023, $6.2 million. Again, very strong. You can see your fund balance has grown from $16.9 million in 2019 to $35.6 million this year. And as I was alluding to earlier, your days expenditure and fund balance, you can see that trend's very strong. 7 years ago, that wasn't the fact. You were on the borderline of where you should have had a minimum fund balance, and everything. The commission took action, and everything changed in a positive direction since then. And you can see the composition of your fund balance. Approximately 54% of that's restricted, 32% of that's unrestricted, and that can be spent with the discretion of the commission. Your trend in your revenues, your taxes, you can see each one of your primary sources of income. In your governmental funds, you've had an upward trend the last 5 years, and COVID did not impact this community like it did other communities. Everything just chugged along steadily, so we're blessed in this area. We didn't experience what other people did across the nation. Now, this is the pension liability and the other post-employment benefits liability. You can see that kind of the composition, and that's something that every community in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, everybody is aware of that, and steps have been taken to alleviate the risk with that as much as possible. The other things we look at also as part of the single audit, we test grants for compliance, any monies that you receive from the federal government. There were no findings. We had no findings or recommendation. You're one of a handful of clients of 100+ audits we do out of the Owensboro office that we have no findings or recommendations or significant audit adjustments. So that speaks very highly again of your finance staff. And I'd like to thank, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Angela, Danae, Whitney, and Carrie, and Deanna. They make our job a lot easier. I know nobody likes to see the audit. Nobody says, hey, I'm glad the auditors are here. That doesn't happen in real life. But anyway, they do a great job, and they're a pleasure to work with. And if there's any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them.
Thank you, Mayor. You were talking about our 6-month reserve. Is that pretty much above average reserve that we have?
That's far above. The government finance officers recommend 60 days. A rule of thumb I've heard for years from financial professionals in the governmental area is 90 days, 3 months reserves. So you're about double what a normal finance officer would try to retain. Wow. So that's an indication of a very healthy city.
I don't think 6 months is really getting too far out personally. You never know when some catastrophic event could drain you. So
it takes one time to have something cataclysmic happen that could knock a dent in that.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Glenn.
When you talked about the pension increasing, I think by $8 million this year, the amount that we have to pay, and you've dealt with other cities, do we have an idea? I know everybody's retiring, that's why it's increasing, but is there a point that you have come across in your research or just your general knowledge where that'll cap off, where we'll begin to see a decline and the increase will stop?
I'm not an actuary commissioner, but what happens, there's a lot of factors that go into that calculation, and the return from the market is another factor. And these figures we work with, the state runs a year behind. So we had a negative market trend at that point. And that could be why there was an ink, because when your assets go down, your liabilities go up as far as actuarially speaking.
Plus, they've made so many adjustments to the pension system for the new hirees that we ought to be able to see an impact with them.
And that's, again, that's something over the next 30 years is kind of something you'll have to address. You've already taken measures to set aside a reserve to address this.
Yes, we have. Hey, thank you, and thank you for all your hard work.
Well, appreciate the opportunity to be of service.
Anybody else? Thanks, Matt.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I covered a lot of material in a short period of time, and if any of you have any questions, just feel free to pick up the phone and give me a call.
All we do is ask Angela.
Angela, no, if I don't know the answer, believe me, she knows more than I do. I like working with people far smarter than I am.
I understand that. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the audit. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4B, consider the approval of minutes dated November 21st, 2023. I'll make a motion to approve these minutes. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, deletions, additions, any changes? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. This time we'll go to 4C, consider board appointments. Seven Hills Neighborhood Alliance, reappoint Kay Yazzer Taylor, David Norris, and Diane Crowley to a two-year term effective December 14th, 2023. Grad Board of Directors, reappoint Lauren Osowich. Is it close? As a joint city-county appointment to a 3-year term effective January the 1st, 2024, and the Police and Firefighters Retirement Fund Board that is closed, ratify the election of Charles Hayden and Helen Nash to a 1-year term effective January the 1st, 2024. I'll make a motion to approve these board appointments. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 5, second reading of ordinance. That will be a roll call. Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 28-2023, an ordinance affirming and adopting the revised goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan for Owensboro, Whitesville, and Davis County. Read for approval on second reading this 5th day of December, 2023.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager, you have anything you want to add?
Just briefly, Mayor, the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission, or OMPC, drafts and administers the community's comprehensive plan for land use. This is just a required 5-year update. So state law requires that the comp plan be updated every 5 years. And so this is second final reading of just minor tweaks and really just grammatical changes to the goals and objectives, which is the introduction to the comp plan, which will kind of phase 1 of the plan. So the entire comprehensive plan will be evaluated over the next several months.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Ms. Davis?
Commissioner Smithwright?
Aye.
Commissioner Neesmith? Mayor Watson?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Caslen?
Yes,
Commissioner Glenn?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. Okay. Item 5B, Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 29-2023, an ordinance revising the City of Owensboro Employee Handbook, Chapter 1000, Subchapter 1004, pay chart entitled Full-Time Pay Grades, thereby adding the position of Information Technology Project and Support Manager. Read for approval on second reading this 5th day of December, 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager, please.
This is second reading of an ordinance creating the position of Information Technology Project and Support Manager. Although this is a new title and position, it does not increase our overall head count. We are transitioning an existing employee into this position because this better describes their current function and roles. And so because this is a existing employee moving to a new title, there is no cost increase or financial implication for this change.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I just have a question. How many employees do we have?
I
Sorry,
believe
blindside.
full-time, about 434 positions in the summer. With non-full-time, we ramp up to 675 or 80, I believe, in that range. Is that right, Josh? Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Davis.
Commissioner Neesmith? Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Caslen?
yes,
Commissioner Glenn?
Aye.
Commissioner Smithwright?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. Item 6, first reading on ordinances. Item 7, municipal order. Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 45-2023, a municipal order approving a 3.2% cost of living increase for all eligible pension annuitants under the closed city employees pension fund. Read for approval on one reading this 5th day of December, 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
second,
Any discussion? City Manager?
Yes, Mayor, this municipal order authorizes a 3.2% cost of living adjustment for the closed city employee pension plan. This is a closed legacy retirement plan that housed city and OMU employees, and it is not the current retirement plan, which is the county employees retirement system, which we participated in, and which Mac, the auditor, referenced our liability in that regard. This 3.2% COLA was recommended by the board of their plan at their meeting last month. Last year, a 5% adjustment was provided. The plan has 13 remaining members. It is financially sound, meaning the funds provided to the members come from investments and assets of the plan.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Davis? Is this a roll call? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
aye,
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7B, please.
Municipal Order 46-2023, a municipal order approving a 3.2% cost of living increase for eligible annuitants of the Owensboro Police and Firefighters Retirement Fund, closed. Read for approval on one reading this 5th day of December, 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve this. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager?
Like the last item, this municipal order authorizes a 3.2% cost of living for a closed or legacy pension plan. This item is for the closed police and fire pension. Also a 3.2% cost of living adjustment. This plan has no assets, so we provide funding for the annuitants every year in the general fund, and this fund has 26 members who receive pensions every month.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7C, Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 47-2023, A municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a partnership agreement with River City Pickleball, Inc., establishing pickleball courts within Ben Halls Park, and further establishing sponsorship funding. Read for approval on one reading this 5th day of December, 2023.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. This municipal order authorizes an agreement between the city and River City Pickleball, the local pickleball club. The partnership agreement provides the terms for the development and construction of a pickleball facility at Ben Halls Park. Basic information provided in the agreement includes terms of funding and a $2 match for every dollar raised by the club. So they raise $1, we provide $2, up to a maximum $1 million contribution to the project from the city. The club can also pursue sponsorship and naming opportunities to generate revenue for the facility. This agreement is just the beginning of the partnership, so the facility is not designed. We have no renderings. This really would allow the development process to begin. However, both parties envision a tournament quality facility to host events and then also to serve our fast-growing local pickleball club. And this is a great public-private partnership, as we've done at other locations in our parks, to create an additional amenity that's well needed in our community. I'd also like to acknowledge Alex Ross as the president of the club. He's here with a large contingent of members and board members. I'd like to thank them, and they worked very closely with Parks Director Amanda Rogers, and so they have really done 99% of the work that's in this agreement. And so I'd like to acknowledge their efforts, and it is a good partnership that we're happy to bring for your consideration.
Do you have a representative who'd like to say something?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Pagan. Yes, this will be a great opportunity for the community. We appreciate all of the work that's gone on so far, especially Amanda, Carrie, everyone involved. As of right now, we're at 507 River City Pickleball Club members. All of them are active, all of them are engaged, and they span from 12 years old to their mid-80s. So we're excited for this opportunity. Just as an update, if this is approved, we would take this to our membership on Sunday for their approval, and after that point, it would be full steam ahead. So again, appreciate the support, the financial support, but also the logistical support, and we look forward to this being a very iconic but a great piece of facility for Owensboro. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we want to describe where it's going to be, City Manager, did you?
Well, at Ben Halls Park, I think the intent is when you pull into Ben Halls from Boothfield Road, it would be on the right of the main drive, across from the par 3 golf course. There's a large flat space there. It has access to an existing parking lot, existing restrooms, so there's assets there that can reduce the cost a little bit. There's also a playground, and will be a revised or updated playground in that facility that's right contiguous to that same area as well. So it does have many assets. And another good thing about that site is there's really not much residential encroachment as well. So one of the issues with pickleball is it can be a little bit noisy at times, and so it's a good noise, I think, because it's people being active in the community, but there's not as much residential encroachment in that area, so it's another benefit to that site.
Yeah, you ought to hear it at the health park. Okay, anybody else? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. And you made one mistake, sir. You said full steam ahead, and I remember you're fooling with the government, so. So might choke that back a little bit every now and then. But thank you all very much. We appreciate your efforts. And okay. Hey. City Manager items.
Okay, you have the following personnel appointments for you this evening. Aiden McGaw, probationary, full-time, non-civil service appointment to telecommunicator with the police department effective December 18th. Devin Adkins, probationary, full-time, non-civil service appointment to systems administrator with the information technology department effective January 2nd. Jordan Hall, probationary, full-time, non-civil service appointment to road worker with the street department effective January 2nd. And probationary, promotional status as William Isaiah McLaughlin, probationary, full-time, non-civil service promotional appointment to maintenance equipment operator with the street department effective December 17th. And Rodney Roberts, probationary, full-time, non-civil service promotional appointment to property maintenance inspector with the Property Maintenance Department effective December 17th.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve these probationary status and promotional probationary status and new hire status. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. No more comments?
No other comments, Mayor, that's correct.
Okay, communication from elected officials. Commissioner Smith-Wright.
I don't have anything this time. Oh, yes, I do.
It gets worse, let me tell you.
Tri-State Food Bank in Evansville is working with the Owensboro Davis County Veterans Organization, and they're providing food for veterans. And you don't have to be disabled or anything. You just have to be a veteran. So if there are any veterans out there that would like this box of food, excuse me, that will be given out once a month, and this month it will be given out on the 14th of December. You can call me and let me know, and see if we can't get that done for you. Thank you.
So you'll deliver it, or are they going to come to someplace and pick it up?
They come to the VFW to pick it up, but I need to know so I can turn in their names
Sure.
and that stuff, yes.
Thank you.
My turn?
No, I'm going to go.
Oh, you're going to go next person.
Yes, your turn.
Okay, thank you. I
Ms.
just
Smith,
wanted
please.
to add a comment. I was approached today by some other pickleball players that are not a part of this particular organization, and actually I was approached last night when I was eating Mexican, and they said to me, well, we heard about what's going on, and we understand y'all are going to close the York Shively pickleball court. And I assured them there was no comments, and I double checked with Nate, and there is no plans to do any of that. So I just want to ease those neighborhood to know that they still get to keep their pickleball courts.
Thank you. Mr. Cashland?
Thank you, Mayor. Of course, last week we had the ribbon cutting for Monetta Sleep Park. That was very exciting. Been a long time coming, and it's a beautiful addition to the neighborhood there. Also, had the opportunity to go to the Nutcracker, and it's a great show we have here in Owensboro every year. If you've never been, be sure to go to the Nutcracker. It's first class, and also one of my great nieces happened to be the Snow Queen in it this year, and my granddaughter was also in it, Madeline and Caroline. But and I wanted to thank Amanda Rogers for working so diligently with the pickleball group and working out this new set of courts that we're trying to get together, and leaving me out of it. You know, it's always nice to see our community and the government come together and make something positive happen like that. And I want to thank her for all the work and she and Nate both have done on that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Glenn?
Just a few things. I wanted to congratulate the Senior Center on a wonderful Thanksgiving meal that they had. Helped serve it, and it was just a really neat event to participate in. And a lot of people who needed a meal on that day might not have had friends and family to provide them Thanksgiving. The Lions Club, Owensboro Lions Club, is hosting Breakfast with Santa, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Rock Renewal and Outreach Center at Settle United Methodist Church. It's free. If you have kids who are old enough to sit on Santa's lap and want to eat breakfast, I'd encourage you to attend. The last thing is, as we enter the Christmas season, there'll be a lot of parties, there'll be a lot of public events where alcohol will be served. I would really encourage people to take a moment and think about their strategy to not drink and drive. And as a consequence, we've got Ubers, we've got Lyfts. Some companies actually sponsor transportation home for their employees. but please do not get on the road even if you've had one drink, because the life you end and the tragedy you create are simply not worth the risk. Let's have a free and safe holiday season by being smart out there when it comes to alcohol consumption. And that's it. A Merry Christmas to everybody.
Well, I'd like to mention something if I already did it, then forgive me. But we had a wonderful time lighting our Christmas tree. And the reason I bring it up because we got comparison studies with Evansville's Christmas tree. And by far, the meme, is that what it's called? Ours was Tiger Woods and theirs was John Daly. So that ought to tell you everything you need to know. But we had a great time. Shelley got some dancers there, got a couple little children out there to do the countdown, and thankfully it wasn't 20 degrees, so it was a well-attended deal. And we're very proud of our tree, and I hope everybody can go down to McConnell Plaza, I guess, and enjoy it. So that's all I have. Oh, I did swear in some firefighters. How many was it, Chief? 7. Swore in 7 new firefighters. So that was kind of special too, to see all the families down there and all the little children, and it is one great big family down there. So.
And my dog.
Yeah, I saw your dog. She won't leave home without it. But that was a pretty neat deal. Okay, at this time we'll go to open public forum. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Commission on any matter of public concern that was not on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of this commission. Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of Owensboro citizens and taxpayers. At this time, anyone who wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks to 3 minutes or less. Since the item is not on the agenda, no response is required from the city staff or the commission. And the mayor reserves the right to extend the time to the speaker or yank him off. Okay. Mr. Ennis.
Hello, my name is Steve Ennis. I live at 3657 Briarcliff in the city of Owensboro. I'm here representing a very small, recently created nonprofit called the Green River Community Food Warehouse. I have another member of my team with me, Rebecca Baird. Rebecca and her husband volunteer and operate the Ohio County Food Bank. It's our intent to build a temperature-controlled warehouse in this area in order to store pallet quantities of frozen, refrigerated, and dry storage in support of local food pantries and soup kitchens. I've left with you a diagram of the way the facility would lay out and also an artist's rendering of what it might look like. Just want to give you a perspective that food insecurity is a major problem in the United States. In this area, in Owensboro, Davis County, there's over 13,000 people that are food insecure, which means they don't know how to meet their basic food needs in any given day. There's about 30 soup kitchens and food pantries in Owensboro and Davis County that do a fabulous job providing resources to their best of their ability to food insecure individuals. Our team has spent the last couple years asking them what is the most important thing they need, and they tell us food. Large quantities of food, pallet quantities of food are available in our area, but we're not able to take advantage of them because we don't have enough storage space for them. In particular, protein and fruits and vegetables, which are the most nutritious and hard to get, are available in pallet quantities in our area, but we're not able to take advantage of them because we have no place to store it. I wanted to give you a couple quick examples of the problem. Rebecca has received phone calls from Tyson and Purdue down in southern part of the county there about chicken, frozen chicken being available. And she gets that call, she always says yes, because if she doesn't say yes, she'll never get that call again. But when she does get it, she doesn't know how much is coming, and she's able to store a very small quantity in her facility, and she scrambles on what to do with it. I've personally used my pickup truck and a trailer to go down to these facilities to pick up 2 pallets of frozen chicken, driven into Owensboro with about 3,000 pounds, and been able to deliver 5 boxes here, 5 boxes there to Help Office or Benedict's or at the Patino shelter, and we just don't have space to keep it. So it's our intent to build this temperature-controlled facility. Evansville has one, Elizabethtown has one, Ohio County has a small one, we don't have one. So far, we have designed the facility. We have property identified, builder, general contractor, an operating budget, and a capital budget. We are partnering with Tri-State Food Bank. Thank you, sir. We are partnering with Tri-State Food Bank. We've been in discussions with them to actually operate this facility once it's up and running. The big, hairy, audacious goal for us as a group of very small private citizens is to raise $3 million in order to make this happen. It's going to take about $1.8 million for the capital aspects of this, primarily for the specialized refrigeration equipment and the racks that need to go into it. And the remainder of the funding would be to create 3 years of operating funds for the facility. We don't want to start it unless we have enough funding to sustain it. And then after which time we hope it will be self-sustaining. Our intent is to raise most of this funds privately, but we're here today to ask you for help. Any help, financial help would be great, but we also want you to be aware of what we're doing, be an advocate for us, support us, and get us in touch with the right people to help us get to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just curious, and I believe you kind of touched on this, but this food warehouse would be available for all of the nonprofits, correct?
Our intent is for every one of the food pantries and soup kitchens in Owensboro and Davis County, every one of them, to be able to use it.
Okay, good.
Steve, I've got one quick question. So when you put this facility in place and Tri-State is going to be your operating agent, they're amenable to distributing it to any other nonprofit in the area. We don't get into a turf war, right? They're not going to say, well, we'll do it for St. Benedict's, but we won't do it for this other.
Right.
As far as you know.
There are some of the 30 or so soup kitchens and pantries that don't use Tri-State Food Bank. Okay. And we've worked to sort through what those issues are. I've personally met with Glenn Roberts numerous times. He's excited about this. He knows that there's been some issues with that. And we both said we're going to find a way because our team wants to make sure it's available to every one of those soup kitchens.
Sure, absolutely. Sounds like a wonderful project.
Thank you.
Thank you for you and Ms. Baird's involvement in it. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, neighbor. Okay, anybody else? Oh, my goodness. Well, how do we do? 40 minutes? That's pretty good, isn't it? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.